This is Frank Fantini. I'm with Rob Chary, who is the CEO of a company called Everi. And until recently, he was better known as the CEO of Global Cash Access. And Rob has not changed companies. Global Cash Access has been transformed and rebranded into Everi. Rob, tell us a little bit about your rebranding, why you've done it, and what you hope to accomplish through it.
Well, great to be here with you today, Frank. As you would imagine, given the two organizations that combined to form Everi, multimedia games was very limited to slot machines and the games business. And Global Cash Access clearly is descriptive of payments, but neither capture the full portfolio of what we have to offer our casino clients. So we needed something that was generic enough to capture everything we do, and really versatile enough as we try to add to our portfolio. So we have compliance offerings, we have additional product offerings on the game side, and all of those things need a brand that will carry the versatility of everything we have to offer. So we have Everi Payments, Everi Games, Everi Compliance. We have products like Everi Ticket and Everi Bet, which we'll talk about maybe in a little bit. So to brand product, services, and business segments, using a name like Everi made the most sense to us. Frankly, it was one of the logo marks we owned. So we own the domain, we own the trademark around it, and it just made a lot of sense to use it in the spirit of efficiency and timeliness.
When you purchased Multimedia Games, a slot machine company, there were a number of people who questioned that decision, not seeing the typical synergies you would get when one slot machine company purchased another slot machine company. And at the time, you said part of the rationale was to take advantage, capitalize on the wide number of jurisdictions in which Global Cash Access was licensed, and with your connections throughout the industry. How's that worked so far?
It's worked extremely well. It's taken a little bit longer than we thought, but clearly our combination was a complementary combination, one in which businesses that fit well together but didn't have duplicative functions came together to form a more powerful company. And so while we don't have big cuts in terms of synergy dollars that you can identify with the combination, we bring a lot more capability because we're about investment and growth and adding functionality to the casino floor.
You had an announcement last week out of Alberta in which typified what you had talked about initially.
That's
Can
right.
you tell us a little bit about the Alberta contract and how that speaks to your strategy?
Yeah, there are several jurisdictions in North America that are great opportunities for us where multimedia games historically could not get licensed and therefore not get their product into the jurisdiction. And Alberta is a great example. I mean, for nearly 2 decades, they've been a very valued strategic partner on the payment side. From a multimedia perspective, after several tries, they couldn't get licensed in the jurisdiction. The consolidation in the space, as we're all well aware, left room for another slot supplier to be a partner and be added to their jurisdictional licensing portfolio from a province perspective. And it gave us, a great opportunity being the obvious choice where we already had a trusted partner relationship with the province. And we're excited to have our games on trial there, and we're excited to be able to offer them, among other things, our tournament product. So it's a key example of several jurisdictions to come where we can use our payments relationships, our trusted partner relationship in the payment space and sell games and slot machines.
One of the things that we've historically said is that on the payment side, because Everi is the dominant by far player in that business, that you get a unique view into the health of the casino industry. How does that industry look today?
I mean, from our perspective, when you're looking, as you mentioned, across the volume base of payments in North America, the space is relatively healthy. I mean, volumes are growing as we see it, mid to single digits in terms of year-over-year growth. A destination market like Las Vegas is not nearly as healthy as a lot of the regional outlets, but across North America it's relatively healthy, and I don't want to misrepresent it. It's not growing by double digits. It's not opening up new jurisdictions and new properties for any of us as suppliers to sell lots of games or lots of product. But at the same time, we see health in terms of the overall consumer market, and that translates well into casino patrons.
One of the issues is in the payments business also has been that it's been very driven by underbidding the incumbent contract holder in various casino companies. And so payments companies have tried to find products that add value. When we go down onto the trade show floor and we look at Everi's payments systems products, what should we look at there that is that differentiator?
Yeah, one thing we've done as a management team over the last couple of years, as you described my tenure, is we've been very focused on making sure that we get paid for the differentiation and value we provide. We have a proprietary process patent. We have an integrated kiosk that's unlike anything in the space. And it was important for us to approach clients and approach prospects with that value and the commensurate price for that value. In most cases, the casino operators have embraced our view of our offerings. We've retained a disproportionate amount of business in the market. There have been, one or two exceptions, and there probably will be one or two exceptions where, for whatever reason, it's a price-driven decision, very short-term and short-minded by the casino operator. But over time, we're very optimistic that the proprietary and differentiated nature of what we have to offer will shine through. And so that's what we've done. And then to further that point, in terms of your question about how do we continue to drive value, we're adding things actively to our payments portfolio. Compliance is an area that's top of mind for casino operators from an AML and tax filing requirement perspective. To give you an example, the requirements from a regulatory perspective have gotten so severe that having lots of people running around adhering to manual processes is not getting the job done. And we've got innovations and software that will help in that space, and that's one of the examples of how we're continuing to add to the portfolio in a differentiated way.
The gaming industry is changing so rapidly, and it seems to change faster today than it did yesterday. We have a convergence of technologies, we have a convergence of companies, we've got globalization, we have these disruptive things that happen that people didn't even think about a few years ago, such as daily fantasy sports, esports, exchange, wagering. How does Everi play in that changing environment?
Well, one of the things that's really on the mind of our clients is skill-based and skill-based gaming. And it's important to note with our combination, we're unique in that it's not new to us. We've got a lot of data analytics capability from our payments business. We've got a lot of information. We've got a lot of consumer and patron information that we haven't really fully utilized, but we are now in terms of helping casino operators make decisions. You combine that with things like our turn event capability. That is leaning towards a skill-based aspect. There are things about the turn event that are interactive, that are more skill-based in nature relative to the traditional slot machine. So it's not new to us, and we're doing a lot of things and are very mindful about the fact that there's a broader demographic that we could potentially attract into the slot space and onto the casino floor. At the same time, we're very focused on the core business because we don't think the core slot player in terms of demographic profile is going to change much in the next several years.
When we go out onto the floor, what are the one or two multimedia game products that we should be looking at?
We have a new cabinet, the Core HDX cabinet, coming out this year. The most interesting aspect of it to me is the natively developed games on that cabinet have a function or a product functionality called Every Bet, one of our first products tagged with our new brand. And Every Bet allows the casino operator to vary denominations on that slot machine. So it's definitely something innovative in the space, something we believe will be very attractive and potentially game-changing for casino operators. So that's an exciting new product capability on our new cabinet that people should look out for. From a payments perspective, since we have two verticals, I would say that compliance capability is unique. Nobody else in the space has a compliance offering. Nobody else is looking to extend efficiency inside the cage, not just outside the cage from a payments perspective, and it's something to look out for and look into.
Investors are our core clientele. What would you like investors to better understand about Everi?
We are really the only significant growth story in gaming. Nobody's talking about growth. We've been growing for the last several quarters, year over year. We intend to continue to grow year over year by comparison over the next several quarters, next several years. Everybody's talking about synergies and scale and cutting back and becoming more efficient. We're growing and we're investing. We're investing very significantly. We're going to double our studio content capacity as a company on the game side. As I said, we're adding actively to our payments portfolio. So we are investing and we're growing, and we're not just investing to grow, we're investing to grow more in that we're already growing. And I don't know that in the casino space and from an investment perspective, as you say, that anyone is growing and is talking about growing even more in a climate that's kind of got the overhang of a relatively flat market. So we're a growth story and really the only growth story in gaming.
Great. Ron, we've covered an awful lot of territory in a few minutes. Anything else that you'd like to say about Everi?
I think last year when you asked me the question, I said, we're here to stay. And the extension of that with our new brand is that Everi is the future. We are going to power the casino floor and the future casino floor. We're the only provider that does that from a payments and games perspective. We are the future, and we're excited about it.
Okay, great. Ron, thanks. Very
Thank you, Frank.
interesting and informative.
Appreciate it.